your forecast first. Sponsored by Natex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Let's take a look at some of our cameras in Jacksonville. You can see kind of the wet pavements there, and even in this picture here as we blow it up, a little bit of light snow that has formed on the parking lot, as you can see, as snow has already moved into the Jacksonville area. You can see here on the Storm Tracker Doppler, and heading to the east, Springfield. You may get on this here before too long as well, but it is a slow movement with this snowfall, and it will be very hit and miss. Notice there are a lot of breaks in here and not just one big wall of precipitation that's moving through. 31 in Champaign right now, 33 Effingham, 34 in Springfield. Heading out and about through this evening, most of us keep things dry over the next several hours. After midnight, that's going to change. The latest on snow amounts coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Police are surrounding this bank in Champaign. I'll tell you what they're investigating.
I actually was standing one day and saw something fall from it.
Collins Tower is back in the news. What Danville is now looking into doing with the local landmark. When it comes to smoking pot, Springfield is going to be a first. What the capital city has voted to allow.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
We begin with breaking news tonight. Police are on the scene of what appears to be a bank robbery.
It's at the First Mid Bank and Trust just off of Windsor and Duncan Roads in Champaign. And that's where we find WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen. They're live. Jennifer, what's the latest?
Jennifer, just moments ago, I talked to a lieutenant on the scene, and he confirmed with me there was a bank robbery here at First Mid Bank and Trust. This happened around 5 o'clock tonight. It's very early in the investigation, so that lieutenant could not confirm for me, if anything, what was stolen or give any details on suspects or any arrests. Police have been coming in and out of this building, and that's connected to a couple of other businesses in the same building right next to it. Right now, there are still squad cars surrounding Crossing Court Plaza, and police are still here on the scene, and I will remain here as well throughout the course of this investigation tonight to bring you more details of what happened here. Live in Champaign, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jennifer, thank you so much. City officials now have a quote for how much it would cost to tear down Collins Tower in Danville. That new estimate shows that cost more than $1.3 million. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting is live in our newsroom. So, Courtney, does this mean they're going to demolish it?
Well, Jennifer, it's not quite that simple. The mayor and city council members have to decide now how they want to move forward. But whatever does happen, people I talk to say they're just ready to see it come down.
It's obvious they're going to have to do something.
But what will that something be? That's the question many in Danville are asking about the nearly 100-year-old Collins Tower.
I actually was standing one day and saw something fall from it. This was before the barricades were up. There was a lady walking at the time, and she jumped, of course, and so it did make me realize they have to do something for the safety. And of course, now they have the barricades up, which is fine, but then that looks even worse.
Now city leaders are faced with a possible $1.35 million bill to tear it down. But that decision would affect a lot of people. The tower is owned by the Collins Group. It also shares a wall with the county's annex building.
When both buildings were built, there's some utilities that run, I have been told, through the walls down there that are common for both buildings.
County leaders moved to the county building around a year and a half ago because of safety concerns. At this point, they have no need for the annex and have ruled out the possibility of separating the two because of expense.
And we've been wanting to take action on the annex for quite some time, but we just didn't know where the tower was going.
Whatever happens, many can't wait for the decision to be made.
At the end of the day, I think that something has to be done, and I think the mayor's moving in the right direction to make sure that something is done.
I reached out to the owners of Collins Tower, but they didn't want to comment. They have talked to us about several plans in the past, and some of those include a 1920s themed hotel, indoor amusement park, and speakeasy. They've also talked about plans for a restaurant, retail space, and living space. No word on where things stand right now. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
What we do know is something has to be done.
Exactly.
All right, thank you. If city leaders decide to tear it down, Mayor Williams says they would have to go to court and get a demolition consent decree on the grounds that the building poses an imminent threat. There's no date or even idea in place for when the tower could come down. City leaders say it's just an idea they're looking into. A new type of coronavirus has made its way to the U.S.
It hasn't hit central Illinois, but the U of I is being proactive. It's testing for the virus that's already killed at least 17 people in China and sickened hundreds of others. WCIA 3's Karina Rubio's live in Urbana at McKinley Health Center. Karina, what is the school doing?
Well, Paul, the center behind me just started screening students coming in with any respiratory infection for the virus, whether or not they've traveled to areas with confirmed cases.
You know, we have a large community, we have a lot of students, we have tons of international travel.
And that's why the McKinley Health Center at the U of I is taking preventative measures to test students with any type of respiratory infection. They want to work ahead to rule out the coronavirus.
I think it's safer for the students too, as well as everybody else around them.
Cases started popping up in China last month. The first case in the U.S. was just confirmed in Washington state. It causes pneumonia but doesn't respond to antibiotics. Coronavirus can be spread through coughing and sneezing of an infected person.
How easily it spreads from person to person, that's key. So far, we know that the 17 deaths have been in older people with other illnesses.
Champaign-Urbana Public Health District Administrator Julie Pride says this is not the first coronavirus outbreak to happen recently. Other commonly known ones were MERS and SARS viruses several years ago.
Novel is the key here because there are about 7 coronaviruses that infect people, and there are some that infect animals, and there are some that infect both. But of the 7 that infect humans, this is the newest one.
And since it's new, Pride says there are still many questions to be answered. The CDC and World Health Organization is still working to figure out what exactly this new outbreak is.
It's always concerning to public health when you see any type of novel virus. Because, again, a novel virus has the potential for a pandemic because there just isn't really any immunity to it. So that's the concern.
When I spoke to Pride today, she said you don't have to be too worried right now. These are all just preventative measures to keep people healthy. And the health center says a good precaution to take is to wear a surgical mask. Live in Urbana, Karina Rubio, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Obviously, the idea, better to be safe than sorry. Karina, thanks. Screening centers are being set up in airports across the country, including O'Hare and Chicago. People traveling from areas with confirmed cases will be tested. Here's an update. Students will now be able to leave school to vote in an election. The new law gives them 2 hours to do it. They have to be 18 years old to be excused. Schools will be allowed to decide how and when students can leave to vote. Lawmakers opposed to the idea were worried about students using voting time to simply skip class. The law does not require students to prove they voted. This won't take effect until the summer. Pressure's mounting on Secretary of State Jesse White's office to explain how hundreds of non-citizens were registered to vote in Illinois.
At least 16 people actually voted after checking a box to say they are not American citizens. Early voting starts in just about 2 weeks in Illinois. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell has been on this story from the very beginning. He's live in our Capitol newsroom tonight. So, Mark, a House committee announced plans to investigate what the state called a computer glitch. What do you know?
Jennifer, that's right. That investigation starts next week, early voting the week after that. So there is a sense of urgency here to get to the bottom of all this before ballots are cast in Illinois in 2020. One lawmaker today said this blunder was just as serious as when cyber criminals, foreign hackers, breached the State Board of Elections back in 2016 here in Illinois. Republican Congressman Rodney Davis joined Illinois Republicans at a press conference earlier today to call for a temporary suspension of the state's automatic voter registration. That was the vulnerability here that broke down. Davis is the top Republican on a House committee in Congress that oversees elections at the federal level, and he said this incident was deeply concerning.
And I got to give the Secretary of State some credit. They're working to figure out what happened. They're working to figure out how to fix it, because we can't have a situation like this before the next election.
Look, any voter fraud is unacceptable. And we have to make sure that a full investigation is done here so that we know what went wrong, the glitches that took place here that caused this, and that it doesn't happen again.
One other major concern here is how long exactly was the Secretary of State's office planning to keep this under wraps? Why didn't they come forward in a more public fashion to sound the alarm about this with just weeks to go before early voting? We do know the first non-citizens were registered to automatically vote in 2018. It's now 2020. We do expect lawmakers to ask how a problem like this could have gone undetected for so long. Reporting live in the Capitol Bureau, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3. Your local news leader.
Keep working on getting those answers. Mark, thank you.
It might just have been one of the best games the Illini have played in years. A rare win at Purdue has just about everyone talking.
It was fun to watch. Also tonight, recreational marijuana may now be legal, but you can't smoke it in public. What city will be the first to break that barrier?
And we're now watching our Springfield camera on the Roofing Dog iNet Flooring America weather cam, because soon they will start to see the snowflakes flying around tonight. 32 and 22, those are the numbers, a little closer to average. But that snow is moving in. We'll look at where the highest amounts could occur. And all this eventually changes from snow to rain coming up.